TIAA is on a mission. Why? Because 54% of Black Americans don't have enough savings to retire. So in collaboration with big-name artists like Wyclef Jean, TIAA released Paper Right, new music inspiring a new financial future. With 100% of streaming sales going to a nonprofit that teaches students how to invest. Stream Paper Right now and help close the gap.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. Central Texas Life with Ann Harder presents Central Texas Events.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Central Texas Events. And this is a big event that's coming up for Central Texas, and it is the upcoming Waco Symphony Orchestra concert. And I am so proud to introduce you to Miguel Harth Bedoya, who is our interim conductor for the Waco Symphony Orchestra. You are also the Mary Franks Thompson Director of Orchestral Studies at Baylor University, and music director laureate of the Fort Worth Symphony. And so that's why we're doing this via Zoom and not here in the studio, because you are in Fort Worth preparing for a concert, I take it.
Yes, that's correct, Anne. Good to see you.
It is great to see you. Well, we are just so honored to be able to claim you as the interim music director, conductor for the Waco Symphony for at least the next few concerts, and you have done such a wonderful job in helping to plan this season, which is out of this world. I've got our little brochure here, and so delighted that you will be able to be conducting for the symphony, this first concert that's coming up on January 18th at Waco Hall.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to work with colleagues that I've known for some time now. Many of them are, faculty colleagues of mine at the School of Music at Baylor, and some other new ones that I will meet, but I'm very much looking forward to collaborating.
Well, it's been a fun season because the whole season has played off the fact that Waco is ground zero for the eclipse in April. And so that's why the out of this world and space and the theme has just been so fun to play off of. And you've done such a beautiful job in helping to plan these programs. So let's talk about the 18th concert. It will be at 7:30 at Waco Hall. And we have a very special musical guest, pianist.
Yes, we have Anna Genushene, who is the recent silver medalist of the Van Cliburn International Piano Competition that happened a couple of years ago. And I remember when Caroline Bess and I were discussing the planning of this, and I noticed that there hadn't been any guest soloists recently. And I suggested, well, let's go with one of the Cliburns. And I just picked up the phone and texted Anna, who happened to be in Europe, and she said, yes, let's do that. And I said, but I'd like to do Rachmaninoff's third piano concerto that hadn't been done at least in a while. So that's how it just happened, when friends that like to play with you and the repertoire that you ask, it's fantastic. So I've never done that piece with her, so I'm very much in expectation of a piece that is just beyond the concerto. I mean, it may just be called concerto number 3, but boy, it's equally challenging for the orchestra as for the soloist. So I call it a collaborative concert piece.
Yeah, something like 30,000 notes for her to play.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Well, why not? That's what Rachmaninoff would have said. Why not?
Why not? Of course. Well, it's going to be an awesome concert, the Rachmaninoff piece, and then a world premiere. Tell me about that.
Well, I'm a fan of composers, as we all should be, because without composers, we wouldn't have music.
That's
and
true.
I'm talking about any composer throughout time. And let's not forget that every single piece of music was new once. All of them.
Right.
They were premiered. So I'm always, in awe of creating music from nothing, from scratch. I don't have that talent at all. I just recreate music. And so when somebody has that ability, to me, it just amazes what composers can do. And if we look in retrospective, what wealth of music do we have over centuries and perhaps over millennia, for there's music that predates music notation as we know it now. So I asked Ben Johansen, a colleague at Baylor at the School of Music, who's in the composition faculty, to write a piece, for the Waco Symphony. So I asked him, and then we get a gift. So what we don't know is what we will hear. I've received the score, of course, and as a conductor, when I read a score, I can hear, but nobody else can hear it yet. So I always tell that there's only one first time. So our audiences can only experience this one time once, because the moment you hear it again, then it's not the same. You already know, the punchline or the outcome of the piece. It is the same thing like in football, when you don't want to know the score, when there's a game going on, you don't want to be a score.
Don't tell me the score. Yeah.
No, because I've recorded it and I want to have a first time watch and somebody spoils it, and tells you. So it's a little bit like that. The expectation of what is this piece about. It's very traditionally written for an orchestra, but it's also very innovative in terms of electronics, because Ben Johansen has managed to incorporate into his overall artistry the use of electronics, and in a particular way. And this is fascinating, the way I read the score. So that's all I can tell you. The piece is called Still, and it's a combination of still that it doesn't move or still in time. And I think everybody would enjoy something very unique and very new and very local to us. This is homemade, and we don't have to look, far away first. If we have great at home, let's do that.
That's just awesome. And then a Beethoven piece.
Yes. Now, Beethoven, we may be used to Beethoven in many aspects and ways, but to me, Beethoven is the composer that defined what we call orchestra nowadays, all the way to the 21st century, because Beethoven standardized, this is from now on what I've picked up from Mozart and Haydn, and attempts, to build what we call an orchestra. So to me, Beethoven is like a hero who gave us an orchestra, and from here on, we go just forward in time. So I wanted to have this first encounter with the Waco Symphony with two very distinctive things, something brand new and something that symbolizes the roots of our profession. And I mean, Beethoven Symphony No. 7 is so exciting, it's so uplifting, it's so energetic, electric, and the list goes on, but it's always on the positive upwards scale. So I thought this could be a good way to, get to know each other before I come back to my program in March.
Okay, so let's move to March. This is going to be March 21st, again, Thursday evening, 7:30 at Waco Hall. This is Exploring the Great Unknown, and this is going to be an immersive experience, isn't it?
Yes, so we have, again, two very unique elements that get brought to a concert experience. And to me, that's the whole point, a concert experience, because we can listen to music in different settings, particularly through our devices of any kind, but nothing replaces the experience that happens in the house, surrounded by people. So the ensemble Time for Three, which is made out of two violins and a double bass, which are amazing players, classically trained, is a group that has been able to cross over different genres, different styles, different types of music, if we can use that word. So these are also friends of mine that I was able to manage to get them to play with us. And they'll be playing a piece that just won a Grammy Award by Kevin Putz, and the piece is called Contact. In brief, it's a concerto, for a trio and orchestra. And the name Contact really is a combination of contact between people, because during the pandemic, when the piece was sort of conceived and started being written, we didn't have contact. We lost contact, physical, direct contact. So, and at the same time, the composer was thinking in above us, above Earth, what is everybody else thinking over, us that can help us grow as civilizations or look at things or to prevent things? Who knows? So it's a very open-ended question, but that was the word that came to bring this piece into a thought. An idea was the name Contact, which is the title of the piece. And then in the second half, we have something sort of very American, is not perhaps the right word, but it's close to it, because when Antonin Dvorak was brought to the United States to be the director of the National Conservatory in New York, he was brought with the idea of teaching composers how to sound American. And that was his main goal. He he remained truly a Czech composer. And in regards to his New World Symphony, he said it is a Czech piece. It's still Bohemian in spirit, in sounding, but it lives through the great impact of America that had in him. So this sense of freedom, literally, and expansion and explosion carries through that piece. So it's a gift in a certain way that he gave us, to our continent, to our country. And in this case, it's going to be paired with Cosmos and HD Odyssey film. So we may know the piece musically, but now we're enhancing the experience of something that, I would take it for granted. Hopefully somebody has never heard the piece, so they get the bonus of, oh, what a great piece and what a great presentation with, imagery.
Yeah, the New World Symphony, very familiar to a lot of people, but to pair it with pictures of the universe and stars, and that's where the immersive experience part comes in.
Yes, and again, it will bring a unique experience to our concert goers, because now this is something that you will not be able to do anywhere.
I know.
Except at Waco Hall.
Waco Hall on March 21st. and the last concert of the season, you will not be conducting, to be determined.
Correct.
On that. But it is our Pops concert, and it's on a very special day. It is on Sunday afternoon, the day before before the eclipse. So this is going to be Sunday, April 7th at 3 p.m. at Waco Hall. And, of course, Pops concerts, it's just a perfect fit to have movie music, movies about space.
Yes. So, again, it would be this is sort of out of this world programs, that if the idea of the eclipse happening and becoming an out of this world, translating into music, which is out of this world. And I do believe that the gift of music is just simply out of this world. I mean, it's providential. It's a God-given gift. I don't take it for granted.
Amen.
But I think I am the last person that deserves any of this, because the musicians, the composers, those are really the ones that have the true gift of making music. I just have the pleasure of being in the middle of the situation. And always having the best seat in the house.
The best seat in the house, but you're also a very important part of the action. This is called Sci-Fi Spectacular Sun, Moon, and Superstars. And it's just a delight to have Gary Cogill come back, who, of course, is a movie critic, and he was with us season before last, and was just a huge hit because he's so great in front of an audience, and he knows so much about these movies. So he's going to, help add color, I guess, in a way to these very familiar sci-fi movies that we've all. What are some of the films that you've selected?
Well, there'll be a bit of Star Wars, Star Trek, so that we don't create the competition with the Trekkies or the Star Wars. We want to keep, there'll be a Superman in there, and some things to be announced still as we find out who will conduct this concert, and we're keeping it a bit open, mysteriously surprised.
I love surprises. This is fabulous, and we have done. I keep saying we because I'm immediate past president of the symphony board, and it's my symphony. But all of us in Waco feel that way, and I'm just looking at our brochure and these wonderful sponsors, and the community that steps up to help provide this opportunity for our musicians and for the audience to be able to enjoy this wonderful series of concerts. There is, I think, they're calling it a mini season, and all three of these concerts you can go ahead and get tickets for, or you can buy them separately for the concerts, but it's at wacosymphony.com. That's how you can order your tickets online. Well, I've taken a lot of your time, and tell me about the concert you're working on now with the Fort Worth Symphony.
Right now I'm teaching in Fort Worth at the Conducting Institute. So
I got it.
It's a lab orchestra where students from all across the country have come, and in the lab orchestra, these are fellows, who we provide fellowships, financial fellowships for them, and there are several students from the Baylor School of Music and UNT, SMU, TCU. So it's a great also way for them, for the orchestral players, to meet other peers and work with them, in addition to working with the conductors that get guidance and coaching from me.
Well, it's awesome that you're sharing your wonderful expertise with these students, and but you do conduct several other orchestras. You have all around the world, and we are just so blown away that you are a part of the Waco Symphony Orchestra for certainly in a very important part this year for this important season.
Oh, absolutely, and I am a member of the Waco community, through my position at Baylor, and I hope as time goes by, they'll continue growing and getting to know more people little by little.
Well, we welcome you heartily to Central Texas, and next time come and sit here in the studio, and we're going to get into the tall weeds and really find out more about you, Miguel. But it's been wonderful to visit with you today. Thank you.
That's a promise. Thank you, Anne.
All right, good. Well, Miguel Harth Bedoya, who will be conducting the Waco Symphony Orchestra tomorrow. That will be on January 18th. And so we really want you to get tickets at wacosymphony.com. Appreciate you so much.
Anne.
Yeah. Safe travels back. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
And thank you for joining us for Central Texas Events. We'll see you next time.
Anytime.
Bye-bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.